Good morning, YouTube. Today's Bible verse comes from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. That is today's Bible verse. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. When I went to go look at the footnotes for this verse, it says, the truth revealed to Israel that God is one, and that this one God created all things, sustains all things, and governs all things, stood in radical opposition to the religions of the ancient Near Eastern world. All of Israel's neighbors had to come to terms in their daily lives with scores of gods, each with its own sphere of influence, its own limitations, its own petty self-interest, and its own morally erratic ways. But Israel could live serenely in the knowledge that all things and all times were under the rule of one divine king, whose ways are righteous and whose purpose with her and through her, as Yahweh, her God, is salvation for humankind from sin and judgment and every evil that has burdened human life. Such serenity in the midst of the ragings of history and all its seeming chaos remains the precious gift of faith for all who know and trust the God of Israel. That is today's Bible verse. And oh, that was so great to hear that there is serenity in the knowledge that all things at all times were under the rule of one divine king, whose ways are righteous and whose purpose with her and through her, as Yahweh, her God, is salvation for humankind from sin and judgment and every evil that has burdened human life. I don't know if y'all picked that up. Today's Bible verse. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. There is a serenity. There is a peace. There is a calming in the knowledge of our God. Because what the Bible is saying is that there were other gods back in those days in the Middle Eastern time with their own sphere of influence, their own limitations, their own petty self-interest, and their own morally erratic ways. We don't even have to deal with that. Imagine all of the stuff that the people were doing back then just to please their gods. But we serve the one true God whose purpose with us is for salvation for humankind from sin and judgment and every evil. We have such a serenity in believing in our God that chaos, and what else does the Bible verse says? Chaos remains the precious gift of faith in all who know and trust in God of Israel. Because of our faith, you don't have to have chaos in your life if you don't want to. I'm just trying to tell you what the Bible says. There's a serenity if you believe in our God, the God of Israel. There's a serenity. You don't have to have chaos in your life if you don't want to. Why? It says right here. The king whose ways are righteous and whose purpose with her is salvation for humankind from sin and from judgment and from every evil that has burdened human life. Such serenity, such peace you can choose to have. You can choose to look at the glass as if it's half full or half empty. You can choose. That's a choice for you. But the Bible says right here, such serenity that we have in the midst of the ragings in the chaos, we still have the precious gift for all who know and trust the God of Israel. Well, to put today's Bible verse into action, live an application of this verse. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Hear, listen. You should have peace and serenity in your life on today. I don't care what happens in your life on today. Remember, you serve the one true God, the God of Israel. You serve the one true God. And the Bible says you're supposed to have serenity in the midst of the ragings, in the chaos, for all who know and trust the God of Israel. So that is today's Bible verse. Remember, you have the power to make it a great day.